Are you considering quitting your job to start a coaching business but feel worried about replacing your income? In this video, you're going to discover the 6 steps that you can take to replace your salary with coaching income so that you can become a full-time coach. And make sure to stick around till the end so that you can learn how to avoid the 5 most common mistakes people make when transitioning from corporate to coaching. So let's dive right in. What's the first step to making this transition? The first step is to calculate your runway. What I mean by that is there's 3 numbers that you want to clarify. The first number is you want to clarify what your current salary is, because if you've worked in corporate, you've worked at a job for a while, you're accustomed to your current quality of life. And your quality of life is supported by your current salary. So whatever salary you know you have, go ahead and grab a sheet of paper and a pen and write down what that is, because that's maybe what we're aiming for. The second number that you want to know when it comes to calculating your runway is your monthly income target. So what monthly income do you need to earn as an entrepreneur to comfortably make this transition from corporate to coaching? You see, if you are making, for example, $10,000 a month in your job and you're a W-2, you probably are receiving some other benefits. Maybe you've got health insurance covered. Maybe you've got some other benefits that if you didn't have that job, you would have to pay for yourself. So what income on a monthly basis would you need to make as an entrepreneur to cover those additional costs and comfortably make that transition? Maybe it's even less. Maybe you only need to make $8,000 a month because you don't need your current quality of life. You just want to have the freedom of being a full-time coach. Or maybe you do need to earn more, and in fact, your vision is to earn way more than what you're earning now. So write that number down as well. Let's say that maybe your current income is $10,000 a month, you're making about $120K a year, and maybe your goal for coaching is to consistently make $12K a month. What is that? That's $144,000 a year. That's an additional $24,000. Imagine having a $24,000 pay raise, right? And having the freedom to become a full-time coach. That's what I mean by that second number, is what's your monthly target. And the third number when it comes to your runway is what is your freedom day? Give me the date, right? We want to choose it. We want to declare it, because fuzzy targets don't get hit. And what I know is that if you don't choose a deadline for when you're going to make this transition, if you decide to do it, then you're going to let another year go by, another 3 years go by, another 5 years go by of your life, where you're going to look back, and you may look back with regret on not making the move sooner. Magic happens, and the way I transitioned from corporate, my background was investment banking and private equity. I worked many years in corporate, but I was burned out. I was not fulfilled. I was disconnected from my purpose. I made that transition because I made a declaration that by this date, I would make that transition. So what's yours? Is it September 1st? Is it January 1st? Whatever that is, think about what that is, and I want you to write those 3 numbers down. That's what makes up your runway. Your current salary, your monthly income target, and your freedom day. Go ahead and write those down now. The second step to knowing whether or not you're ready to quit your job and do coaching full time is to make sure that you've packaged a premium coaching offer. So if you earn a salary in corporate or in a job, then you've got to replace that income. And you're not going to replace that income by offering some low ticket course or by offering some low hourly rate for your coaching. So if you have an income that you're accustomed to and a quality of life that you and your family are accustomed to, we've got to make sure we make that transition as fast as possible. So putting together an offer where you're charging $5,000 or $10,000 is what I want you to think about. Because if you're just charging $500 or you're charging $100 an hour, it's going to take you a ton of clients to earn enough income to replace your salary. Now the problem with that is that takes a ton of time. And your biggest constraint when working full time in your job is not having enough time to focus on your coaching business. So because of that, we want to make sure that we maximize the return on investment of time. So charging a high price means that you need to structure a premium coaching program, one that is high value. You need to make sure to solve a specific problem, right? Because if you don't do that, then people are going to pay high ticket. So my recommendation is if you're in corporate, the minimum that you should charge is $5,000 for an offer for your time. And again, think about what you're leveraging. You're leveraging your experience. Maybe you're pivoting from corporate to something totally different, but I would encourage you to leverage the 10, 20, 30 years of experience that you already have and expertise and package that into a high ticket offer, because that will get you clients far faster and you'll make a lot more money quicker doing that. So the third thing to consider is leveraging your relationship capital. A mistake that I see so many coaches make is for some reason, they think they need to have funnels and they need to build an email list and they need to grow a social media following. And sure, all of those things will help you at the right time, but they're the worst places to start because they require skills. They require you to understand tech, or at least you to leverage a team who can do it for you. But what we want to make sure not to avoid is the relationship capital that you've already built over the years. You already have people in your network, people who know, like, and trust you, who may very well be either a client of yours, become a client, or they can become an advocate. And so a little exercise that I would love to see you do is for you to list out 10 to 20 people and then have conversations with them about your vision. Now, this may not be your boss who you're talking to or even a current coworker, but somebody that you're connected to who it's not going to jeopardize your current job or your career in any way. And you let them know the vision that you have. And by doing that, you're going to find that you may get some clients from it, but you may also get some advocates, which are even more valuable. An advocate is somebody who wants to see you win. They want to see you succeed. When I started my coaching business years ago, I was blessed that my best friend, Sean Stevenson, at the time, he passed away a few years ago, but 10 years ago, he was like the best, literally one of the best coaches, speakers, and authors on the planet. He shared the stage with the Dalai Lama, with Richard Branson, with Bill Clinton. He's literally like that renowned of a world-renowned speaker. He was an advocate of mine. We got together once for coffee at Panera outside of Chicago, I remember, and he sat me down. He goes, Peter, let's bring my phone. Let's open up my phone. Who in my contact list do you want me to connect you to? When he found out that I was becoming a coach, that I was launching a business, that I was leaving my job and my career to go do something entrepreneurial, he's like, brother, I want to see you win. And that felt like unbelievable. It was the confidence and the certainty that I needed to feel because I didn't have it in myself at the time. I would be shocked if you didn't have an advocate like that in your own life right now. So who are those people? Let's create a list of those. Let's start a conversation with those people because they want to see you win. And it's very likely that they may be 1 degree away from huge business opportunities for you and your next paying client. So leverage that relationship capital. Just a quick story. A student of mine, Neil, who's a business consultant, did this. We taught him to take an approach called market research interviews, which I teach about in some of my other videos on this YouTube channel. And in the first 30 days, he literally generated an additional $100,000 in his consulting business. Now, this is somebody that wasn't starting from scratch. He already had a multi-six-figure consulting business, but he had a lot of credibility. He had a lot of relationship capital. He took the market research approach and the advocate approach that I teach and literally added 6 figures to his consulting businesses like that. The fourth step in making this transition or thinking about it is mastering a high converting sales process. Right? You will know whether or not you should quit your job if you feel confident that you can close clients. I do not recommend quitting your job if you don't have a structured sales process. Because if you don't have a structured sales process, then how in the world are you going to get a client? If you're unclear on the price that you're going to charge, right? The problem that you're solving, the way you're delivering it, and the price, if you're unclear on that, then it's going to be a while till you get some clients. So let's get clear on that first. Let's make sure to develop a very high converting sales process. We need to know who your offer is for, what the questions are that you're going to ask. You're going to have to do all those things to create desire, to create urgency for your offer, to ask for the sale. And if you have any sort of sales resistance, that's okay. It's natural to do that, but we're going to leave that at the door. We're going to release that baggage, and we're going to focus on serving this person no matter what. I've got actually a sales script that you can find in some of my other videos on this YouTube channel where I give you the word-for-word script that you can literally pull up today and start getting $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 clients from. So if you want that, just comment script below. My team will happily send that to you. But developing your proven or your structured sales process is a really important step in moving you towards finding the comfort to replace your salary and quit your job and do coaching full-time. There's 2 more steps that you want to consider. The 5th is ask yourself, is your coaching solving a painful problem? Because if it's not, then you may find that people aren't willing to pay for it. The more painful your problem is that your coaching solves, the more they're going to pay for it. And when you think about time being the constraint, you don't have the freedom to work with 50 one-on-one clients right now because you're working full-time. Instead, you have the freedom to maybe work with a handful or less. So for that reason, we're going to charge high ticket, and to charge high ticket, we need to solve a high value problem. So value is the opposite of pain. The more painful this is, the more valuable it's going to be, right? It's the reciprocal. So make sure to choose that painful problem, to be very clear in your marketing materials, to be very clear in your sales process, to go into that painful problem, because that's what's going to create conversion when you make that offer. The sixth and final thing to consider is focusing on your coaching model. So in the beginning, yes, you want to go ahead and maybe get 1 or 2 one-on-one clients to just prove your model. But as soon as possible, you want to transition from one-on-one coaching to group coaching. So you want to focus on a one-to-many model, not a one-to-one model. Why? Because one-to-one is trading time for money. That's literally what it is. And so you will hit a ceiling very quickly when you're working full-time. But if instead you learn how to leverage your time and coach one-to-many, now you've built a model that can create more freedom, have more impact, and get you more clients. There's other videos that I have on my YouTube channel which you can dive in deeper and watch some of those if you're curious about it. Now that you know whether or not you are ready to quit your job and become a full-time coach, I want to hear from you. When are you committed to declaring your Freedom Day? Leave me a comment below with the date of when you're committed to make this transition so that I can support you, hold you accountable, and ensure that this vision of yours becomes a reality. Now, before I wrap up this video, I recently noticed that the majority of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. Like 77% of you aren't subscribed. And so I just have a quick favor to ask. If you've gotten value from this, then do me a favor and click that subscribe bell, that button right now, so that you never miss a future video. And as promised, once you've subscribed, I want you to make sure to check out my next video, which is the 5 mistakes to avoid when transitioning from corporate to coaching. If you want to make sure to avoid those mistakes, click up here in the top left-hand corner to watch this video. My name is Peter Scott, reminding you to be here, act now, and fear less.